Good morning. Another great, awesome day of the week. On my way to the gym so that I can go to work. And today, wouldn't you know, I still have more interviews to go through, which is that is really a luxury problem. I'm not complaining at all. It's great, but I'm gonna be honest. It's getting hard to keep track of all the people I'm talking to, and I like to at least remember people's names and stuff, because yeah, it's it's wow. Well, what is it? It's courteous. It's good manners and all that stuff. But anywho, so today I am going to see. Who am I going to see? I'm talking to a British company over the phone. Can't remember what their name is. Or maybe, no, actually I do remember, but it's confidential because I signed this lovely agreement with this nice woman from the UK. Then I am going to a meeting with some company called Meltwater. And finally, I'm going to visit a company called Software Skills, which is a consultancy. So 3 meetings in one day. We'll see how this goes. And I've heard that the British company usually do a code test over the phone and some stuff, so we'll see how that works out for me. But anywho, yesterday went well. Probably the 2 of my favorite interviews in one day. First I spoke with a man named Amir, who is hands down the most, he was probably the most charismatic person I've ever met at all. Really powerful presence, wow. I can say, you remember I was saying that the guy from Knowit had so much pretentiousness that, he lost me, like my interest, especially in him personally, through trying to be a better salesman than he is. This guy Amir, completely different beast. Like he did the exact opposite. He was so good at what he does and so genuine that we just sat there and talked. And that's especially with people like me who are I am listening to you and I am looking at everything that you're doing when you're talking to me, because my first instinct when anybody's talking to me, especially if you're wearing a shirt in a boardroom, is what's his game? Like, what's the angle? What are they trying to, what's he trying to do? Which means that my guard is up, and I've always been like that with people, don't feel like that they are genuine. And that's what this Amiri guy was. He was so genuine and so had a really nice mindset, a really cool company idea. So really like that. The next guy I was talking to was a guy from a company called Anivo. And he is probably, I didn't get all of his background, but I have met so many people who are like my age and younger, who I call young entrepreneurs. These are people who go to they go to university, they get a fancy shirt, a pair of nice pants, a really fancy watch, and then they get a nice hairdo, and then they walk around with an air of entitlement and accomplishment, and talk down to people. Well, not talk down to people, but they basically they walk around as if they can sell anything to anybody, and that they're these big success. Basically, these are young guys, especially young guys who dream of becoming like the Wolf from Wall Street or something big. That's basically it. And this guy was not like that at all, but he had what they're looking for. If the numbers are correct, and I remember this correctly, he said that he started his company last year or the year before, made it worth 700,000 crowns, and today it's worth 18 million. And it's all about the startups. They have a really different and cool company model. And I just, like, when I was in the office, I mean, maybe it's not for everybody, but like it was almost like the .com age, where you had video games and sofas and like studios and like all that stuff. Nothing that was even remotely corporate about it. It was basically a really nice loft apartment with a bunch of people working. And let's remember, for someone that young, I mean, he's 2 years younger than me. He was 28. To get that far in such a short time, I mean, I was really impressed. Like, let's just forget about the job for a moment. This guy really impressed me. I mean, so many young entrepreneurs could learn so much from this guy, I swear. I mean, he was, once again, really genuine, had a passion for what he was doing, and he was still smart enough to understand that he needs to know some IT, and like, he showed an interest in development and stuff. And maybe he was just that great of a salesman, but I really liked him at a personal level. And yeah, so those were like really successful interviews, probably the best I've had so far. I still haven't, like, I'm still just talking to people to see which positions are open and like what people are looking for. But as I mentioned in my last video, I had this insight. I'm going to have a look. I'm going to update myself on some of the stuff that's going on in Angular and even Vue. Not because I think that these are great tools. I still argue if you're starting from scratch, go with React. But I don't want to be one of those people who go like, oh shit, yeah, I really like this thing here and I feel only comfortable in that thing there. I mean, I think that it's very healthy for you to explore things you're not really, you need to explore things. You need to take the good parts from everything, and I'll see if I can do that.